I like to note little ironies like that.
Oh, Joe stiffed him on the bill, so we good.
I'd like to call to order this regularly scheduled meeting of the Ascension Parish Council on January the 23rd here in Gonzales. I thank you all for being here. Great-looking crowd out there. I want to welcome former President Tommy Martinez, who represents Senator Kennedy. He's here tonight. I see former Councilman Bill Dawson out there. This is y'all's last acknowledgement at a council meeting. Just want you to know. We're not going to do this every time. If I'm missing anybody, other than those who will be honored here in just a very brief period of time, please forgive me. At this time, I would ask that we stand for the invocation, remain standing for the pledge. The invocation will be led by Councilman Corey Ogeron.
Good evening, everybody. Please prepare yourself for prayer. Our Father, we thank you for the gifts you've given us, for the many blessings that you have bestowed upon all of us. We ask you to enter our hearts and enter our minds and guide us to represent the citizens of Ascension Parish as you yourself would guide us and as you yourself would handle us. We also ask you, Father, that as we move forward through this year, that we remember the camaraderie that we have all shared thus far, that we all work together, and that we all keep in mind we all serve you, Lord Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Secretary, all members are present. The chair has one additional announcement, and that is that the item number 11 will be passed on tonight at the request of the applicant. I would remind the public that if you have an item on the agenda that you wish to be heard on, to please go to the podium there, get a red or a green card, fill that out, make note on the back of the regulations around public speaking, and pass that to Cinnamon for her to pass up to us. At this time, the president has some presentations. Mr. Quintmall.
Good evening. I want to do a proclamation. We're doing a proclamation. Parish of Ascension, State of Louisiana.
He's going to need it.
Whereas the education of the Louisiana school-aged kids and the foundation upon which the economic, social, and intellectual capital of our state is built. And whereas locally elected school boards play an important part and a vital role in the representative democracy and the decisions made by local boards of education directly influence instruction in Louisiana public schools. And whereas the decisions affect the present and future lives of children and also set direction to prepare all students to be competitive in local, state, and national and global 21st century economy. And whereas local school board members work with parents, businesses, education professionals, elected officials, and other community members to create the educational visions we want for our students. And whereas this year's theme, School Boards Matter, Next Generation, reflects the relevance of local school board members as they advocate for the public education with local and state and federal leaders. And whereas School Board Recognition Month provides an opportunity to build stronger relationships between thousands of people in Louisiana who champion the mission of public education and school board members. And whereas Ascension Parish government recognizes the contributions of the Ascension Parish School Board and all the state's local boards to the academic success of its public school students and express its sincerest recognition to the local school board members for their focus on the well-being and achievement of the children throughout the state. Now, therefore, I, Clint Quintmall, President of the Parish of Ascension, State of Louisiana, by virtue of the authority vested in me, do hereby proclaim January 2020 as School Board Member Recognition Month within the Parish of Ascension and encourage all citizens to appropriately recognize the outstanding work of the Ascension Parish School Board. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my official signature and have caused to affix the official seal of the Parish of Ascension, State of Louisiana, on this 23rd day of January 2020. And we all know how important our school system is here in Ascension, and we all appreciate as parents and citizens the high school standards that we have. So this is an important proclamation and recognizing all the teachers, school board members, and our school system that does an outstanding job, Parish. And so I would like to bring up David Alexander to say a few words.
Well, thank you. Can I address you without a mic?
Yes, you may.
President, appreciate you doing this. I am honored to be here to introduce this fine school board that we have. It's a privilege and an honor that I get to work for them, and they do an outstanding job of establishing vision, setting policy, and being fiscally responsible for the resources that we have. They absolutely set the tone. I'm very grateful that you would set aside some time tonight to recognize these men and women that serve our school system in this capacity. Very grateful to this council that you would do the same. It is special that we can recognize our school board members in these moments and recognize the work of our school system and the work that they do there. So I'd like to introduce each one of them, starting with our president, Tab Klein Peter, our vice president, Troy Gautreaux. We have school board member, Ms. Robin Penn Delaney, Marty Bourgeois, Ms. Julie Bluen, Louis Lambert, Eric Boo Versajay, Scott DeFrancis, Scott Dupleshin. Now that I successfully remembered all their names, probably right, from everybody, right? I just want to ask you to join me in giving them a
Take a photograph. We could get everybody up against that end of the dais. Council members, would you join us on this end? And we could
Absolutely.
John, you know the drill. Arrange everybody.
Yeah, you're in the back.
Move back to
That's good. Get one out of the way anyway.
Short people in the front.
Here.
Short people in the front. I swear.
Tall people in the back.
Down and
You always
down.
gonna be in the back.
Get between those two. You can be seen over their heads.
Actually, everyone, take just a few. That's terrific. Thank you.
Thank
very
you.
much.
Good job, Scott.
Thank you so much.
Back to business.
I needed to.
That's nice.
Item number 6 is the parish president's report. Mr. Quintmall.
Thank you, Chairwoman Casso, Council. After my first week as parish president, I went home tired, got home that Friday. My wife asked me, well, what did you learn? I said, I learned 3 things. I said, 1, thank God for the IT department. 2, Gwen LeBlanc has done a terrific job keeping people out of trouble. And 3, I don't have enough suits to make a 4-day work week. So I want to thank the LSU Tigers for winning the championship and allowing my cleaners to catch up and freshen up my wardrobe. But on a serious note, it has been a productive and busy 12 days. Myself, my staff have been putting in 12 to 15-hour days, working through the weekend to familiarize ourselves with the inner workings of the building and day-to-day operations. We are also learning the ERP software Munis, which is designed to better manage the business of the parish government and automate the back office functions that integrate the different data sets and functions into a seamless and centralized location. This is a big step in tearing down the data. Got ahead of myself, sorry. This is a big step in tearing down the data and department silos. Our ERP system is also ground zero for most of the reforms my administration plans to initiate during the next 4 years. We will be data-driven administration, and this system will allow us to implement zero-based budgeting, performance-based management, which is a prerequisite for the merit pay raises, but above all else, it will allow us to be more transparent. Last Friday, myself and members of my staff, as well as Councilman Cagnolati, received a product demonstration from OpenGov.com. OpenGov.com is an industry leader in providing government budgeting and performance dashboards. This is the first of many product demonstrations that will help parish government enter the 21st century, allowing us to be more transparent and data-driven. We had our first storm event of the year over the January 11th weekend. Although it was small, as it pertains to rain levels, which is just like we like our events, small, I was thoroughly impressed with Rachel Wilkerson at OEP and Ron Savoy in the Drainage Department. Not only did they prep for the event with regular updates, but spent the weekend monitoring water levels, electricity outages, and wind damage. We had the opportunity to meet and discuss preparations for the upcoming hurricane season. We will keep the council posted on storm event protocols as we begin to fine-tune policy and procedures for the upcoming 2020 hurricane season. An update on sewer. From day one, the administration has been reviewing all options as it relates to sewer and what options are available to control cost and keep rates low for the citizens of our parish. We have already have an existing sewer treatment plant in Hillaryville. Here are a few pictures taken and some details. Hillaryville facility, an 8-inch discharge into the Mississippi River capable of accommodating 4,000 to 7,000 sewer users. And what you see here is the 20-inch sleeve that goes through the levee expansion, capable of accommodating 50,000 sewer users. And here's the location of the 20-inch sleeve as it relates to the active 8-inch line. And here's just another alternative view of the placement of the sleeve versus the active line. And what you see here is the 2 treatment trains where only one is being currently serviced. This train is capable of treating 80,000 gallons per day, but currently only 25% capacity. Pictured here is the unutilized train. With both in operation, they have the capacity to treat about 160,000 gallons per day. As shown in the photo, where the white truck is parked, there's additional space for a 3rd train. Here's an over-aerial shot. 8 acres of property, which is enough to build a 1.5 million gallons per day up to a 2 million gallons per day facility. Another advantage of this property, if you look around the property, is no developments, no residential structures. Straight line distances to other unsewered areas of the parish: Lamore-Dixon, 4 miles, Cornerview and I-10, 7 miles, and intersection of 73 and 74, 8 miles. Quick calculation of the pumping, 8,000 gallons per mile, or 10 miles in a plastic pipe can be done with a 24-inch pipe, reasonable pressure drops. This would take care of over 30,000 customers. The remaining about 10,000 would be in an area of the plant not requiring long pumping. There will be a more detailed report at the next utility meeting as it relates to this sewer facility. Not only are we making structural changes to parish government, we're also making visual changes as well. I know during the campaign trail, many of you heard over and over that litter was a problem. Working with Ron Savoy, Director of Drainage, we have put many of our grass cutters currently idle during the winter months to work beautifying our roadways by removing litter and improving drainage by removing debris that impedes water flow. Having multitasking workforce, not only picking up trash, but unclogging culverts, which is one of the elements in the drainage maintenance program. Staff updates. Most of you have met my CAO, John Diaz. John Diaz has over 25 years of experience using data to drive decisions. He will lead our efforts into zero-based budgeting and performance-based management by setting up the processes to collect data based on the measurable goals and the KPIs, analyzing patterns and facts from these insights and utilizing them to develop strategies and policies that reduce and lower costs and create efficiencies. Kim Bro, my executive assistant to Parish President. She has over 10 years of experience in state and local government, has worked in previous administrations. She has been an asset from day one. Ruth Phillips, my executive assistant. Sorry, this thing's got something over here. Has previously worked in various, nope, I can't, that's cut off. That's okay. Ruth is my right hand, okay? She tells me where to go, where to be. She is my compass. So anything that really gets done in my office goes through Ruth, just to make it short, sweet, and accurate. The newest member of our team is Mr. Randy Watts. Randy has a master's degree from the University of Southern Mississippi and served as an HR director for the Ascension Parish School Board, which is the largest employer in Ascension Parish. As a former coach, he knows how to build a team and develop talent. I have asked Randy to come in and build a complete HR department from the bottom up with a heavy emphasis on professional development, improved skill training. In closing, during one of my many transition meetings where we were discussing bold and innovative ideas, one of the transition team members asked, do you think we can really do all this? And in the sheriff's conference room, somebody wrote on the whiteboard, we can do hard things. And all of a sudden we adopted that motto. And this administration can do hard things. And we will do hard things. We're gonna work hard. We're capable. So with that, I would like to open up to any questions as it pertains to the parish president report.
Thank you, Mr. Quintmore. Wonderful report. I want to make comment very briefly before I open it up that I'm so impressed with the use of technology, not only the idea of the use of technology, but the actual use of technology. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That was beautiful. I'm thrilled to hear that you are proposing data-driven solutions to our problems. Performance-based promotions and wage increases have long been the desire of this council. Certainly effective use of manpower, multitasking, as you referred to it, has often been the desire of the folks up here. I thank you for the emergency management piece. On the weekend of January 11th, we had excellent communication. I thank you for that and for having Rachel and Ron communicate effectively to me and to the members of this council. I think we did a great job on that. Thank you so much. The communication was outstanding. That's my comments. Thank you very much. I could not be more impressed. I look forward to your next parish president's report. I'm sure that there will be progress on all fronts. I'll open it up to questions now. Any questions, gentlemen?
Yes.
Mr. Bergeron.
Thank you, Chairwoman. First off, thanks on the focus on litter. As you're aware, it was a strong campaign point for me, and I appreciate the fact that you guys have stepped up and recognized that. Multitasking your employees is a great idea. So congratulations on doing that. I look forward to meeting with members of your staff so we can get updated on the Hillaryville matter. I want to let you know that, and we've spoken, I have concerns over taking on any other options, looking at anything else until we comply with the CEA, the Cooperative Endeavor Agreement. So I feel that, we need to address that since, it's a contract that the parish has entered into. So I appreciate your willingness to work with the council on getting that accomplished. And, 12 days in office, and I haven't had a single person call me to complain about anything that you've done. So that, I think we're on the verge of 1,200 days. We're going to have to work together. I'm hoping we can pull off another 100 times what we've just done thus far. So thank you very much, Mr. Quintlaw.
Absolutely, absolutely. And just to address just a couple real briefly, I want to work with the council about doing a full-time trash pickup program, a little bit more efficiency. So we'll be reaching out with some ideas to y'all, see how we can do that, and doing a little restructure there. So that's something that we can all work on together. We'll definitely, as far as the sewer, we'll get you a legal opinion on the CEA so that we can better understand our limitations there. So we'll go ahead and produce that, and we'll have that to the Utilities Committee. I think that would be the proper venue. And so, yeah, looking forward to working with you and the rest of the council.
One other suggestion on the litter pickup, if I may. I would definitely encourage a day where the council and your executive staff can join with these fine employees and participate in something like that.
I think we can look at some weekend volunteers where we can all go out with volunteers and pick a road. And I think that it's been done in the past, and I encourage all of us to
Great.
participate in one of those upcoming weekends.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
To make sure that
Mr. Thomas.
that the little pickup be on
Both sides.
both sides of the river.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we have a very small program at this time, and so we're looking to obviously address those things. And as we communicate with the council, certainly going to develop a plan to address both sides, absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Melanson.
Yeah, on the sewer treatment plant in Hillaryville, you said adding a third train could potentially be 1.5 million gallons a day.
No, the third train where the white truck was, so it's 80,000 per train. So the current train that is operating is only operating at 25% capacity of 80,000. So there's one that is not being used, it's empty. That would get it up to 160. If you added another, it would get it up to 240.
Gentlemen? Mr. Turner.
As far as the sewer plant in Hillaryville, how old is that plant there?
It looks like around 2007, but for whatever reason, we have a lacking infrastructure, information infrastructure. So a lot of these files are hard to find. So we're grasping at all these files that are stored in multiple places, trying to unify that together so we can get historical events. So we're working on that information architecture to ensure that we're compiling this information in one location for access, so we're still gathering that.
And as far as being able to handle 240,000 gallons, obviously that plant has never operated under that type of capacity. Do we know if it can even handle it at this point?
We're going to go into great detail about 1.5 million and greater facilities. We would like to do that presentation at the utility because that gets very into a lot of specific numbers, and so there's a lot more information here. But yes, that with adding the third train, we could get up to 240 gallons per day. We're using only 25% of one of the trains at 80,000 gallons per day. So we have plenty of room for expansion just within that unit, but we also have additional information about the possibilities on the site itself. And again, not to get into those, if we can go into maybe a greater detailed presentation, as well as offering any of y'all access to the plant, just call us. Sometimes the gate's locked. We'll give you a tour of the plant. We'll go over some of those details on site, as well as creating another presentation to go over those exact details. So yeah, I don't mind you asking, because then I can make sure it's in the report, but I'm awful confident that it will be.
And, one last thing, I want to make sure, because I know the picture that was shown didn't show residential areas near that plant, but there are neighborhoods not too far from where the plant is exactly located, across the street and to the right and to the left. So what I would ask is that before we do any type of expansion at that facility, is that we at least meet with those residents in that area and have a meeting to discuss what will be occurring there.
Absolutely, and when we have you do the tour, when I toured it, zero smell, none. And there's a school up front, so obviously we're cautious because we have school kids in the front. But when we viewed the site and walked around and were straight over on the walkways, zero smell. So, but I would like y'all to experience that, not just me. I would like y'all to come out and experience that and walk around, and you'll notice that the noise levels are low and there's essentially no smell. Being that the school's in front, obviously it was we're very cautious of any kind of environmental problems with having a school there. So obviously, yes, the residents and the school were all taken in consideration. And so, yeah, we're looking to look at a lot of different sites. Gonzales, we'd like for y'all to visit there, look at their operation. It's also in some other parishes, we have some scheduled trips that we'll be offering y'all to come along if you have the time.
Mr. Lawler.
Yeah, great start to the administration so far with the trash pickup. I mean, it's a huge benefit, and I like Councilman Ogeron's idea of us getting involved in that. The issue I was thinking about is hiring practices. I know with the last administration we made a big push that when we do hire higher level employees, that we go through at least a regional search, preferably a national search. I know that was big with the public when we did that because there's always concern that we're not necessarily getting the best person we can. Was that followed with Mr. Watts? Did we do any sort of search?
I have to feel comfortable that in hiring the individuals that I know that can succeed and carry out y'all's wishes. So that's one of those authorities that I have as a parish president. I love the suggestion, but when I find a good candidate that I believe I can lean on, that will be successful, I'm going to likely hire them because their success is a representative of my success, which is a representative of your success. So that's on my shoulders. And even though we do those searches, obviously a lot of these things will have to be ratified by y'all. So we're result conscious and making sure that we're making improvements every day and every month so that when those ratifications come up, we'll have the choice of ratifying or not.
I would strongly ask that you do follow best hiring practices instead of just hiring one person that you think can do the job.
Okay.
I understand we have some great people here and there. We don't know what's out there if we don't look. And I know the last time that we did this, we didn't always hire the best person, even though we went through best hiring practices, but it's a protection for you also. And I would strongly consider using best hiring practices.
Will do. Thank you.
Any other questions, gentlemen? Mr. Cagnolotti.
Excellent report, Mr. President. And I would just suggest when you go on the trash detail, not just pick it up, let's launch an outreach program to educate the people because litter is a problem.
It is. It is.
Stuff flies out of the back of people's pickup trucks and people just nonchalant, they just throw it out the window thinking it's no big deal. But that would be part of the program. I think it would be a good idea.
It's definitely going to be a multi-agency campaign. So we'll be reaching out to the Sheriff's Department, reaching out to the DA, reaching out to the judges so that we're all communicating on how to address this issue. So this is not just Ascension Parish. In one of my events, I gave kudos to the city of Gonzales because Moniano has been having a program in place. And, one of the things they do is they have their entire staff go out 1 hour on Wednesday and pick up trash, supervisors, managers, the lowest person, and they all go out. So, it's one of the inspirations and that I leaned on was the city of Gonzales and Mayor Barney Arsenault and coming up with some of these ideas. And so we want to take a look at what some of our neighbors are doing, grab some ideas from them, and see what best fits for us.
That's all. Thank you.
Mr. Mason.
Mr. President, thank you for your report. You mentioned the opengovernment.com website. I just have one question. Are we live on that website yet? And if not, do you know, I have an anticipated date of when we will go live?
We're working on the internal data infrastructure. So if we choose to go with a product like that, we have to make sure that we're feeding it data, and we're not at that spot. What we would like to do is continue to do product demonstrations as in software, y'all know, you want to take a widespread look at everything that's out there. Let's see what best fits our needs. So this is just the first presentation of many on looking at what possible products that we could go with. But first, we have to fix the data internally.
Thank you. Any follow-up questions? Mr. Robert?
As far as the litter, there's also a problem, not just litter coming out of vehicles from passengers, but for, in particular, Ernest Floyd Road in my district, people will go out there and actually empty their garbage they gather at their homes, like garbage bags and furniture and this and that. Over the years, I have, and I've known other residents that have gone through, and you can look and see who the trash belongs to, because, I mean, you have envelopes with addresses and things like that. I think it would be, you know, I don't know if it's a possibility, but maybe a place for the parish where we could turn in things like that. Because, I mean, if we don't stop people from dumping their trash, and then also we have to look at the side of, is there a place that people can go and be able to dump their trash affordable, you know? That's a whole different animal.
Yeah, that's part of working with the multi-agencies and getting with the sheriff's department, getting with the DA for prosecution of dumping. So it's addressing all those issues, but we can't be the sole entity trying to fix all the woes of litter throughout our parish. So yes, that's communicating with the other government agencies to ensure that we're all in a unified effort working towards that. Now, one of the possible solutions, and this is just throwing it out there, is doing some type of bulk item pickup sites. But we got to talk financing, we got to talk budgeting for it, but it is certainly an option. It's something that was tried on the West Bank before. So it's something maybe we can consider and look at. I don't have any plans set, but it's just food for thought.
And the only reason I think something like that could work, because, I mean, they're putting it up, putting it in a vehicle and bringing it somewhere.
Yeah.
You know, so. Okay.
Thank you all, gentlemen, very much. Right. Thank you, Mr. Whitmer. Item number 7, the consent agenda. Madam Secretary.
Adoption of December 5th, 2019 regular council meeting minutes. Adoption of January 9th, 2020 regular council meeting minutes.
Motion to approve the
Have a
consent.
motion by
Second.
Councilman John Cagnolotti, a second by Councilman Aaron Lawler to approve the consent agenda. Are there any questions? Any objections? Hearing none, that motion passes. Under general business, item number 8, a resolution to clarify right-of-way on St. Landry Road.
Yes,
Mr. Parrington.
Yes, St. Landry Road is not aligned properly, and so there's gaps between the sides of the road and property. So what we're doing, we want to direct the surveyors as they do that property to include that property that we own into the road right away, so there's no encroachment in the future on our property.
Motion.
Have a motion by
Second.
Councilman Turner, a second by Councilman Lawler. Are there any questions? Any objections? Hearing none, that motion passes. Item number 9, consideration of a construction, operation, and cooperative endeavor agreement between ACUD number 2 and Ascension Sewer LLC.
Madam Chair, at this time, I move that we defer considering the resolution and that we refer the matter of the construction, operation, and cooperative endeavor agreement between ACUD number 2 and Ascension Sewer LLC back to the Utilities Committee for further review and analysis.
I second that.
I second.
I have a motion and a second to defer to utilities. Are there any questions? Mr. Lawler?
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I think that's the right thing to do in this situation. We haven't had the public meeting as promised. I'd like to amend it. It sounds like the administration has some plans for other things and wants to remain involved in this, if I'm correct. I'd like to amend it to ask that the administration would also take the lead in setting up meetings, both with the council and with the public, to make sure that, you know, we do get these meetings. I think Ascension Sewer is going to do it before, but if y'all would get involved in this, you know, feel free to speak on this topic. But I think that's a good way to get everybody involved in it also. So we remand it back. I'm just going to add that we would ask the administration to, number one, be willing to set up some public meetings at the right time. I think it's too early for that. And to take the lead in working with the council to, I guess, get the negotiations moving forward.
Absolutely.
Mr. Ogeron, you're good with that amendment?
I have no objection to that amendment.
All right, so I have an amendment I need a second.
Second.
Have a second from Mr. Cagnolati for that amendment. Cinnamon, you got that amended motion. So are there any other questions? Any objections? Hearing none, that motion passes. Item number 10, consideration of the contribution and conveyance agreement. And I would take it at this time that that would also fall under to the same motion,
That
Mr.
would be the
Bergeron?
preference, madam.
Thank you. So we have a same motion made in the same light as Mr. Lawler's amendment?
I'll second that.
Okay, got a second for that. Are there any questions? Any objections? Hearing none, that motion passes.
Terry.
Speaker number 10.
Pardon, Open had a speaker, no, she did
didn't
not
want to speak,
desire
she
to
did.
speak, but we did have one woman present, a lady present, Mrs. Stout, who was in objection to item number 10, but did not desire to speak. We do want to note that. Thank you, Ms. Stout, for being here. Item number 11, zoning review has been passed.
Yep.
Item number 12, introduction of an ordinance to amend the Ascension Parish Code of Ordinances, Chapter 6, Buildings and Building Regulations, to add Article 10, Occupancy of Buildings, Section 6-371, Reinstatement of Electrical Service. The chair would entertain a motion to introduce. Have a motion by Mr. Lambert to introduce. Public hearings, item number 13, reading of an ordinance to amend Section 16, Personnel Article I believe that is, in general, to add Sections 16.2 through 16.5 to regulate salary increases for parish employees. Mr. Parrington.
To amend Chapter 16 Personnel, Article 1 of the General Section 16.1 Personnel Manual and Official Pay Classification Plan adopted of the Ascension Parish Code of Ordinances adopted by Ascension Parish Council on June 20th, 1996, and adopting a pay classification plan to include Section 16.2 through 16.5. Whereas the Parish of Ascension, through the Ascension Parish Council in the lawful session, passed an ordinance adopting an official pay plan, classification plan. And whereas the original ordinance established a uniform system of reimbursing and promoting and classifying Ascension Parish personnel. Whereas the plan was last amended on August 16, 2018, and is in need of further revision. Whereas the Human Resources Director has prepared a new and improved pay plan. And whereas the Parish President accepted the plan and proposed said plan to the Parish Council for review. Now therefore be it ordained that the Ascension Parish Council does hereby authorize the amendment proposed by the Human Resources Department and submitted to the Parish President attached here to and made a part hereof as Exhibit A. This exhibit is available for review in the Office of Ascension Parish Human Resources Department, 9606 Airline Highway, Sorrento, Louisiana 70778. This ordinance shall be in full effect as submitted by law. The ordinance has been considered to effect. The ordinance was submitted thereof.
Very good. Thank you, sir.
Motion to open public hearing?
I have a motion to open a public hearing.
Second.
I have a second to open the public hearing.
Motion to close.
I have a motion to
Second.
close the public hearing and a
Second.
second from Mr. Cagnolati. Are there any comments or questions? Mr. Lawler.
I'd like to make an amendment to the motion. In Section 16.4, I would add, or promotion. I'll tell you where I'm going to add it. No employee may be given a raise and then add or promotion until a merit evaluation system has been adopted by the Parish Council and the employee has been evaluated. I think this corresponds with the original intent when Councilman Johnson had originally introduced this and we had worked on this. I don't think it changes anything that much, and it does meet with the original intent.
So I have a motion and a second to amend. And are there any questions? Any objections? Hearing none, that motion passes.
Do we need-
All right, item number 16.
I think we need a motion to move that motion.
I think we need a,
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'll make the motion to move it also.
Well, I have a motion to move the ordinance.
Second.
Forgive me. And a second. Are there any objections? Hearing none, that motion passes. Gosh, apologize for that, gentlemen. Item number 16, reading of an ordinance to amend Section 16, Personnel Article I, in general, 16.1 Personnel Manual and Official Pay Classification Plan adopted on July 18, 2013, to amend, not sure where that's supposed to be, 3, I believe. Employee Compensation, Wage, and Salary Administration, B, Pay Classification Plan, page 24, to repeal the following paragraph. Additionally, if an employee is paid the maximum wage or salary established in their schedule in the pay classification plan and all employees of the parish receive a cost of living adjustment, then the employee or employees that have reached the maximum wage or salary established may also receive a cost of living adjustment. I'll make note that that is to be repealed. Mr. Parrington.
To amend Section 16.1 of the Ascension Parish Code of Ordinances adopted by the Ascension Parish Council on June 20th, 1996, adopting an official personnel policy manual for Parish of Ascension. Whereas the Parish of Ascension, through the Ascension Parish Council, under lawful session, passed an ordinance adopting an official personnel policy manual for the Parish of Ascension. And whereas the original ordinance established a uniform system managing personnel matters to assure compliance with applicable state and federal laws and to provide for standards and terms and conditions of employment with the Parish of Ascension. Whereas the manual is in need of further revision, now therefore be it ordained that the Ascension Parish Council does hereby authorize the amendment proposed by the Human Resources Department and submitted by the parish president attached here to and made a part of Exhibit A. This exhibit is available for review at the office of the Ascension Parish Human Resources Department, 9606 Airline Highway, Sorrento, Louisiana, 70778. The ordinance shall be in full effect as permitted by law. The ordinance has been submitted to a vote. The vote thereon was as follows.
I have Chair would entertain a motion to open the public hearing.
Motion to open.
I have a motion and a second to open the public hearing.
Motion to close.
I have a motion and a second to close the public hearing. Are there any, the Chair would entertain a motion to move the ordinance. Have a motion by Councilman Turner to
I'll
move
second
the
that.
ordinance with a second by Councilman Lawler. Are there any questions? Any objections? Hearing none, that motion passes. Gosh, gentlemen, we got that right. Thank you so much. All right. Now, at this time, there will be an executive session for an employee appeal, which is item number 19.
Motion to go into executive
I have a
session.
motion by Councilman Turner and a second by Councilman Cagnolati to go into executive session. Roll call, Madam Secretary. You'll press your buttons there to your right. There you go. Chase, you need to vote, and I need to vote. There we go. I'm trying to vote, but mine's not clicking. Cinnamon, I've voted yes twice, and it is not happening.
We can vote twice.
We cannot vote
This
twice.
isn't Chicago.
This is not Chicago.
She's still alive, so
It won't happen, Cinnamon, but I am in the affirmative. All right, let's go, gentlemen. We'll be coming back. Chair would entertain a motion to
Motion to reconvene.
Second.
Have a- We're missing one. Let me wait till he gets back.
I'll slow down my motion.
There you go. We don't want to reconvene without one.
Oh, you knew we came back in. You walk into an empty room. How's everybody doing?
7:20.
Can we hold him in contempt? Is that a thing?
All right, now the chair will entertain a motion to reconvene.
Motion to reconvene.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to reconvene. The chair will hear a motion on the item.
I make a motion to reverse.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to reverse. Would you open the voting machines, please, Cinnamon?
You'll need 8 votes to reverse the decision.
And the chair is a yes as well. She's not voting on her machine.
You need to get that button checked out.
I'm trying, but there's a testify, I'm pressing it. All right, so then the termination is reversed, or excuse me, the demotion is reversed, 9-1. Actually, 10-1, excuse me, I didn't count. All right, now, the chair would entertain a motion to go into executive session.
Motion.
Have a motion to go into
Second.
executive session and a second.
We got to vote.
And we got a vote.
But I guess we gotta vote to go into session.
And the chair votes yes. Chair would entertain a motion to reconvene.
Motion.
Second.
Chair has a motion and a second to reconvene. There is a matter before us on the disciplinary action. Is there what's the wish of the council?
I'd like to make a motion to uphold disciplinary action.
A second.
I have a motion and a second to uphold the disciplinary action. Cinnamon, you're going to open those? And the chair votes yes as well, it just can't be done on my machine. All right, so that disciplinary action is upheld. Thank you very much. Item number 21. Mr. Cagnolati. I have a motion to adjourn and a second. Thank you very much, gentlemen.